I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears. There, that's my theme song, I guess. The most asked question I get these days is, when am I going to retire from my current job that I've been on for 34 years? I laugh because that has replaced several questions I've gotten over the years. And I got to thinking. I think a lot about retirement. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually close to retirement age, but not close enough, let me tell you. So when I come back, I'll talk more about this because I think it's kind of funny. I'll be right back after this little break. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears. And today I'm talking about the most asked question of my life currently, and that is, when are you going to retire? I hear this 15,000 times a day. I've been at my job for going on 34 years, and I guess people are just sick of seeing me. At least that's what it seems like, because I'm like, why are you asking me that so much? Are you sick of looking at me? No, I think people are well-meaning in that question, but it's kind of funny. It's like, I think about it a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 56 years old, almost 57 on December 21st, and the retirement's really on my mind, but I'm too young right now, and unfortunately I have to wait at least till I'm 62 to even file for partial retirement. But the thought's on my mind constantly, especially when I'm just not feeling it anymore. Working for the public can be challenging at the very least. Things have changed immensely over the years, and I dream of retirement quite often. When I was younger, I always thought I would like to retire to Hawaii because I love the show Hawaii Five-0 and those beaches, and just Hawaii is just a gorgeous place, and I think the Hawaiian people are gorgeous as well. I don't like warm climates, though, especially with my health. I have a lot of issues with climate. I'm not good in the heat. I can't breathe. I just don't like it. But it still would be a nice place to visit. Although, I had an eye surgery a few years ago, and I had a detached retina, and it didn't go so well. I waited too long, and I am blind in my right eye, and they put a gas bubble in my eye, and they don't recommend that I fly because the pressure in the airplane could affect my eye. And so dreams of flying are pretty well, unfortunately. I love to fly. I got to fly one time in my life. I went to Cancun about 20 years ago with my sister Lori. I won the trip through my job, and it was a great trip, and I kind of got the bug of traveling. So I thought, I'd like to travel some more. I want to go here, I want to go there, but unfortunately, those are kind of dashed because of my eye. But still, it's nice to dream. But Hawaii was my first destination. I did get to experience similar weather in Cancun, which actually wasn't much different than my weather here because we went in July. But I got to see the clear waters and the beach, the white sand beach. It was really wonderful. But over the years, my idea of what I would like to do when I retire have changed, and I don't like one climate areas. I don't think I would like where the weather never changes and things are always green. That would bore me to death after a while. My other destination was Alaska, and that's funny because it's the complete opposite of Hawaii. But I love snow. I've always loved snow. I was born the first day of winter, and at Christmas time. So Alaska to me, as a child, was somewhere I really like to see. I have a friend that lives in Alaska, and they've invited me to visit. I don't. Can you drive to Alaska? Can you take a bus? I don't know. But would I like to retire there? Again, there's the sameness of the weather that would drive me up a wall. So yeah, that dream's kind of been dashed. My aunt lived in Denver, Colorado, and I have a friend out in Denver, Colorado, and my mom and my nephew have visited that area, and loved it. That would be kind of another place I wouldn't mind. I'd love the mountains, plus the movie The Shining. I'm very influenced by movies and TV shows where I would like to live. I would love to have lived in the motel in The Shining. I don't know. I'd probably fit in right in with the ghosts. Hell, I'd probably scare them out of there. I'm way scarier than ghosts, let me tell you. They'd be running for their lives. Well, there were ghosts here till I came, and then I bored them all to death and they left, so to speak. Yeah. So, yeah, Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I would love to visit there too. But would I like to retire there? No. So, over the years, my ideas of what's the perfect place that I would live have changed and changed and changed. And I'm sure it'll change again. But right now, I have my mind set on one place in particular. And I tell you what, I'm going to take a little break and rest my throat. And we'll talk about where I've decided that I want to retire when I come back after this little break. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is From My Head to Your Ears, and I'm talking about the question I get most asked these days is, when you going to retire? And I've already discussed that I would have one time liked to retire to Hawaii or Alaska or Denver, Colorado. But over the years, my ideas have changed, and I do like regular weather. I do like extreme weather. Not extreme cold, not extreme hot, but I do like snowstorms, and I like rain, and I want to go somewhere where there's actual weather. Southern Illinois is kind of turned into this oneness too that I just despise. We're having 10 straight days of sunny weather, and it just bores me to tears here. And like I said, more than likely I will never leave Southern Illinois. I probably will die here. It's not a bad thing. It's home. But I like to dream. It makes life a little more interesting. Yes, I know sometimes you have to make your dreams come true. You have to work at it, but not that I'm lazy. I just am an easygoing guy, so to me, I don't want to stress myself out and kill myself trying to live a dream that may not ever happen. So that sounds really lazy, but it's true. A lot of people... I'm the kind of guy that likes to enjoy the moment, appreciate what I have, and not spend too much time lamenting on what I don't have. So when I think of Southern Illinois, I think of, I sound like, it's like the song for The Wiz. When I think of home, I think of a place, I think of Southern Illinois as where my friends are, where my family is, where my roots are. It's just as natural to me as the nose on my face to be in Southern Illinois. So, would it be a bad place to retire here? No, absolutely not. I'm home with friends, and that's awesome. And and my family, and I want to be buried by my parents, so that's home. But there's still that part of me that dreams of retiring to a nice beach somewhere. So I've talked about Hawaii, and I've talked about Alaska, and I've talked about Denver, Colorado. When I was younger, of course, being a Olivia Newton-John fan, she turned me on to Australia, and that is one of my dream destinations. Would I like to retire there? I thought about it, but their weather is complete opposite of ours. Their seasons are totally opposite. Christmas is in summer there, and it's 14 hours away by airplane. That doesn't count the trip to an airport and changing flights. I would say from Southern Illinois to Australia would be a little longer than that, because we're kind of smack dab in the middle of the United States. Plus, it's a different government, and it's totally different than what I know, but Australia is absolutely gorgeous. The people seem to be wonderful there. I had a friend that lived there for a few years. He unfortunately lived there during COVID, and that was a kind of a bad time to live anywhere in the world. But he got homesick and wanted to come home. It's not a totally different culture, but it is because how could it not be, given the seasons and everything? But the people there are beautiful and wonderful, and I still would love to visit there, but I'll never get to, because there's no way, any other way to get there by plane, and I think I've mentioned I can't fly anymore, so what a drag. I've also thought about living in New York, which my nephew lives in Brooklyn, and I thought it would be exciting to live in a big city. At one time, I thought I would love to live in at least St. Louis. And I loved St. Louis when I was a kid. Unfortunately, St. Louis is where the hospital is. And we've spent a lot of time when my sister had cancer up there. And when I see the arch in St. Louis, I think of that time, and it's kind of tarnished my dream of St. Louis. That's weird, but that's the way I am. That was a sad time. My sister did survive, but it sure was a rough time in my family's lives, especially for my sister. She had mantle cell lymphoma and was up there in the hospital for a long time. So anyway, when I go to St. Louis now, I think of those times, and that's not exactly a happy memory. But New York I would still love to visit New York. I do have an open invitation, I think, still, John, for my nephew to visit up there, bring my movies, I believe. I've got a friend that lives in North Carolina as well, and he openly invited me to bring my movies there too. We can watch movies. I've never visited North Carolina, and I don't know a lot about it, but I know there's beaches there too. Florida has never been a destination for me, and no offense to Floridians. Your area is beautiful. I don't know why. I just never have desired to go to Florida ever. That's a lot of people I know, and a lot of people I know have retired there. But again, the weather's just too warm, and I don't like summer 24/7, 365 days a year. I just don't care for that. I know it gets chilly there sometimes, but chilly just ain't gonna cut it with this boy. So, Florida's not a dream vacation. New York, well, I said New York, but the crime there and the fact that it seems to be a target for foreign enemies. 9/11 really scared the hell out of me. I think that would be one of the first places anybody would attack, and I don't like that fear in my head. But I still think Christmas time in New York would be really awesome, because they have the Rockefeller Center. See how I think the Christmas thing keeps coming back. I'm so weird. But, okay, my absolute dream of retirement, I've finally reached this. I should take a break and talk about it because it's kind of lengthy. I think I will. I'm sorry, I'm kind of being like a news show teasing the big story at the end of the broadcast, but I'm not meaning to be that way. My mind's going everywhere. But I'll be right back and we'll talk about my absolute dream location of retirement, and then we'll talk about some other stuff as well. So I'll be right back after this break. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast From My Head to Your Ears, and I'm talking about the fact that everybody's asking me when I'm going to retire, and some of the places I've thought of retiring to. I've talked about everywhere that I've talked about, but the absolute one place that I would love to retire besides where I am right now is, of course, on the East Coast, and I've read so many Stephen King novels, and I've always been in love with Maine. I have absolutely been in love with Maine. I love movies that feature waves and beaches and lighthouses, and Maine would be my ideal place to retire. But what I've always said is I'd like to live in a lighthouse. Now, where that came from, because I had an obsession with lighthouses for a long time. I collected lighthouses, and I loved lighthouses. I still do. But that came from the movie The Fog, which is not a Stephen King movie, obviously. But the lead character, Stevie Wayne, played by Adrienne Barbeau, owned a lighthouse, and she ran a radio station in the lighthouse tower. And I thought that was the coolest thing, and I thought, wow, that would be amazing. I would love to live on a lighthouse and broadcast my own radio station and play the music I want to play and talk about what I want to talk about. Kind of like doing my podcast. I could do my podcast from there. And then I would like to have stairs down to my own beach with, beautiful sand and waves and crashing water. And then we'd have lovely springs. How do you like that? And, I could see me sitting in a chair, reading a book or listening to music while the waves crash. Oh, I would let my hair grow and my beard grow, and I would just wear what I want to wear and totally enjoy life and what God has put forth in front of me, and the beautiful skies and birds flying. Oh gosh, doesn't that sound wonderful? And then in the winter, of course, it would snow, and I could have my Christmases there. And, that's such a wonderful dream. It makes me smile to think about it. I painted several pictures of lighthouses. But absolutely, and didn't Adrienne Barbeau have the sexiest, smoothest voice in that movie when she was doing her radio shtick? That kind of influenced me in wanting to do radio as well, that movie. Oddly enough. Yes, I'm a weird person. It's okay. I like to think of myself as quirky, but I'm sorry, I may be. Oh gosh. But actually, I can think of no reason why I wouldn't want to go to Maine other than leaving my friends and family behind. But, gosh, I could have a special room for friends to visit. I thought I'd like to be secluded, but it's not good for a guy like me to be secluded because I think I would get really, really weird. So, yeah, no, I think it's best for me to stay, stay connected with people. I get lost in my thoughts very badly when I'm by myself, and I start to think of. I tend to really think of bad things. When I say bad things, I think of things that made me mad or whatever, and I get mad all over again. So it's not good for me to get lost in my thoughts. That's a very, very bad place. And I don't want to retire and just spend a lot of time being angry about, my third grade teacher embarrassing me or making me mad, because I think I've talked about that in a past podcast. Oh Lord, it's hard to be me, but retirement is, at least partial retirement even, is 6 years away, so it's not going to happen anytime soon unless I get disability or something. But I'm going to have to keep working until I can't work anymore, I guess. And hopefully I won't die before I get to be retirement age. I've talked about our economy right now. It's really hard to make it on retirement. Even my mom, it takes both of our incomes to keep my house running, which we own. We don't have house payments and stuff, but the electric bill is ridiculous. And the realities of my dream kind of dash my dreams altogether. I keep thinking, you're going to have to move your pets. I know my pets aren't going to last forever, but I probably, at this point in my life, I will always have a cat. I may have a dog. I don't know. God sends forth what he sends to me, and I just do his bidding. So whatever he sends for me, that's what I get. Okay, mentally retirement. I was talking about not have to worry about the stress of work, and I was thinking, what would I not miss about work life more than anything? Getting up early would be one of them. Although I like to get up early and get my job done and get home in the afternoon. It's perfect for my current life with my mom and stuff. But I'm not a morning person. I don't care how I pretend. It takes me a good 3 or 4 hours to wake up, and but I don't hate it. I actually I have my regulars in the morning, and we always have a good chit chat, and it's a nice way to start the day, actually. But today's my day off, and I'm enjoying podcasting, and this my first day off is always my day to do what I want and be me, unless I've got an appointment or something. And of course, I always have to take care of Mom, which is just part of being me. And the kitty cats. I'm surprised they're not banging on the door wanting fed because they hear me in here talking. But I enjoy having a lot of me time, and I love a big part of me is being creative, and that's why I like my podcast. Having time to be creative is another thing I'm going to enjoy about retirement. Hopefully, I really love podcasting. This is my favorite thing ever. I would like to do something with it that actually would help me with my life. But I enjoy these podcasts immensely, and I spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to talk about in my next podcast. And I'm sorry, I put them out a week at a time. I originally intended to do every other week, but I get these ideas and I've got to go with them. This idea came this morning. I was really worried that I wouldn't have an idea for this week's podcast, which is really funny. I do this every week. I thought, what am I going to talk about? Of course, I did my series on decades, and I'm going to do that, maybe once a month and talk about the decades I've lived. But I like that I came up with that because that gives me something to research and think about. Keeping busy is... Okay. Being busy at work is one thing, but keeping busy at home is another thing. Keeping busy at home is not stressful to me. It's actually relaxing to me. So I don't want to just sleep all day and stay up all night, get fat, sassy. Eat a lot of soups, make bread, get fat and sassy. I don't want to do that. I don't want little kids, scared of me because I'm the weird man with the long hair and the beard that lives in the lighthouse. I don't let me throwing rocks at my lighthouse. I don't want to be that person. I do. That is a fear. That's a fear of mine now. Oh, Lord. I'm already that big weird guy that works at the store that you can't get away from when you go in because I want to talk about my cats. So yeah, I'd become the crazy cat man. But yeah, there's my idea. Where do I want to become the crazy cat man at? In Southern Illinois, Maine, Hawaii, or Australia? Oh God. My biggest fear, my absolute biggest fear, though, is just dying and not getting to retire. I don't want to do that. I'll probably die at work. I always joke about that. I can't die at work. I can't get the day off. Oh, gosh. But it's weird being in my late 50s. It's like all of a sudden, here you are. It's wow. When you get to the point of your life when you have way more behind you than you've got in front of you, it's just an odd feeling, and it's like, holy cow, that got here fast. Oh, I still feel like a young kid. I'm hopefully I'll never lose the child in me. The child in me, by the way, is named Brubby, because that was my childhood nickname. So, I just want to be Brubby 24 hours a day. I'm going to take a break, and we'll talk about a few more things. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, and I'm back, and I'm talking about when I'm gonna retire, and I've talked about all the places I've thought about retiring and how much I love the state of Maine. I don't feel limited on where I'm going to retire. I don't feel limited in my life anywhere. Some people think I'm limited. They think I'm stuck where I am, but I am where I need to be. That's the way I feel. Like I'm not bitter about anything. I've made my choices. I've lived my life, and this is what it is. I can make it better. It's all up to me. I am not limited. God has not limited me. I have limited myself. The choices I've made in life are my choices, and I've lived my life the way that I saw fit. And I never dreamed of huge aspirations in life. I did at one time want to be a weatherman, a broadcaster, a radio man. I've always got to do what I wanted to do in a weird sort of way, and I'm really happy with that. I've never dreamed of being married or having kids. That never was a goal of mine. I just really just want to be myself, and that is, I think I've been myself for the most part, and I don't regret anything. How's that? So, thoughts of when I'm going to retire and where I want to retire to. Yeah, they may just be dreams, but if they don't happen, they don't happen. I'm not gonna kill myself trying to get somewhere that I may not get. I'm not gonna waste my life worrying about what I don't have. I learned a lesson from my dad, because my dad in his last years was very down and really regretted. Honestly, I don't think he regretted his life. My dad loved his home and he loved his TV, and he had that. But what he regretted was life went too fast, and here he was at the end. And in a way, I'm not like my dad that way. I'm not going to regret. I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to I'm not going to spend a lot of time going, oh, I could have done this and I could have done that. Oh, I'm so miserable. No, I'm not. I'm just not miserable. I'm not a miserable person. I've got lots of things going for me. I've got lots of friends who I dearly love. I love my family. I love my pets. My house is a freaking mess, but it is my house. I have a home to go to. I have a bed to sleep in. I have food to eat. I have a job that I can do, and I can do it well, or I can suck at it some days too. But I do have a job to go to. I have so much, and I know that. I'm not ever regretting anything. And I've had my heart broken, and I've learned those heartbreaks have been lessons that have moved me forward in life and made me who I am. And if I ever was picked on or made fun of, that also made me who I am, and made me more compassionate towards people and made me a better person. So all these things have made me who I am, and where I want to retire and when I want to retire. They aren't things that I'm worried about achieving. I will retire where I retire. I will retire when I retire. Those things will happen when they happen, and maybe sooner, maybe later. So, although I think about it, and there's days I thought, I wish I could retire. I don't know how much more I can go. Honestly, I just go home, go to bed, get up, and I do it all over again. I just take life as it comes, and whatever the good Lord hands to me, I will deal. And I've made my mind up. I'm not going to stress about things that I cannot control. So, yes, it's wise to prepare for your retirement and prepare for your death, even, because you don't want to leave. You want to make sure. What I worry about mostly, what I stress about is, if anything would happen to me right now with my mom, who would take care of my mom and who would take care of my cats? Both, it's very similar for both, because I don't think my sisters could take care of her. They help, but I don't think that there's no way they could. Their lives aren't my lives, and I'm nothing against them, but they have their own issues, and they do help me a lot. Don't think they don't, but I'm the key factor here, because I'm the 24/7 one. And my cats, nobody could love my cats like I do. They're very beautiful, sweet creatures, and I have spoiled them rotten, and I worry about what would become of my cats, because a lot of people don't like cats, and there are so many out there. I think of my big boy that loves me every day, my Sonny, and I just don't want to think of them being abandoned. It just scares me. So, yeah, that part of my life does worry me a lot. Where I'm going to retire is not a big worry in my mind, but it is a nice thought, actually. The thought of being a lighthouse on Maine appeals to me a great deal. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me take a break, because I'm getting sinus issues here, and I'll be right back to wrap it up. Thank you for listening. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is From My Head to Your Ears, I Shall Return. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears, and I'm wrapping this one up. Of course, I was talking about when I'm going to retire, where I'd like to retire, and I thank you for listening. I hope I answered your question as to when and where. I probably will retire to Southern Illinois in this house with my cats, and I will always continue to podcast as long as God is willing and the internet is willing. And I still would like to visit Maine, even if I wouldn't get to retire there. Maybe I wouldn't love it like I think I would. I would like to visit, though, and find out. and New York and all those places. I'm only 56. I could say I am already 56, or oh my god, I'm 56, but I'm only 56, and I still am capable of getting around, and I have a lot of open invites to visit places. I'd like to have time to do that. Although I know a lot of people retire and don't have any time at all. So, yeah, you know. But anyway, I have thought about it, and I've thought about where I want to do it. But I probably will retire to Southern Illinois with my cats in this house. And that's not a horrible thing. If it happens that way, I will make the best of it like I always do. So thank you for listening. I love all of you. I love hearing feedback from you guys. I love the positivity that I get. Constructive criticism is welcome. Although I'm no more constructively criticizes himself more than I do. So I try to listen back and I try to make this better. And I know I ramble a lot, and I know I say a lot. That irritates me. I'm trying to do better. I almost said it. I almost said But thank you for listening, and I will be back again probably in a week with another episode, and enjoy this one. And if you haven't listened to all my past ones, they're all available on wherever you're listening. You can just look back and see if you missed one. I'm pushing up to 40 episodes now. I'm really quite impressed. This is nearing the end of my second season, so I said take it. Time to go. Have a great day. Have a great week. I will be back next time. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears.